Welcome everyone to the 1025 podcast. This is in response to Aiden's podcast on the origins of the phrase nerf or nothing and how it applies to our daily lives. I'm going to be tackling the origins of nerf and its connections to warfare, especially involving the alien race at the Roswell incident that brought this glorious phrase to Earth. So I'm going to be getting all of my information from the WikiHow page, How to be a Nerf Sniper, which was a mandatory text that was required to be read in pretty much all of this alien's military schools, the only exceptions being the Navy, because, how do you shoot Nerf guns when you can't retrieve the bullets from the water? You can't, so they didn't. So starting off, we see the standard equipment for a Nerf soldier to be one of these ghillie suits with a gas mask that is both to prevent from chlorine mask and these foam pellets from hitting you in the face and rendering you unconscious, or whatever other nasty things they can do to you. We see that this person has painted his Nerf gun green to blend in with the forested surroundings. We can also see, the source down here at the bottom, always crediting the sources. Remember that this is centuries old at this point, so this could be completely out of date, so we really have no idea what's coming. So we see that a specific excerpt says, find a vantage point on the battlefield with a covered infiltration and exfiltration route. Making up words is common in this regard for many alien languages, especially this one. Putting a space between it basically just means the opposite of this one. So we see here that an example of this would be gathering a large hat or bush or hair, whatever this may be, and enshrouding yourself in it, so that is very difficult to see. Of course, you may only end up shooting the grass, but that is a side effect of how cool you look, which really is what won the wars because they had very large intimidation receptors, but I believe that they have evolved out of that because, as exhibited by the Roswell incident, there was really no intimidation of, the farmers and Johnson calling the feds. It was really just, it's Nerf or nothing. So the most important thing is, if you're found, don't shout. Enemies can find you easily. Just use a backup that has more than a shot and doesn't jam a lot. Now this may have been garbled in translation, but this is a direct quote. The backup may be referring to another gun, or another person, or another hiding spot, but more than a shot and doesn't jam a lot does suggest that it is another gun. Here we see the geometry and the math involved with the calculations for Nerf guns. These large radiuses are representing the range of the gun. These hit markers or indicators would appear on the visor of the soldier that we see here. This was highly technologically advanced, so you would be able to tell when an enemy was in range just because you could see the circle, you could see this little checkbox next to him. Gives you a direct line of sight. Plus, it calculates for this 20-degree angle that would be caused from the flowing wind. Regardless of the vertical direction, it's always 20 degrees, no matter how strong it is. That's just a condition of the alien planet. It may not work here, but it might, aliens are pretty smart. You can also measure this 20 degrees with a protractor. Can you find the 20 degrees? That's right, there it is. It's pretty easy. It's just slap a protractor on the end of your gun, point it in the 20, bam, headshot. Not to mention you have all these other aim assists. Here we see all the different perks that you may equip when playing a Nerf Sniper class. We see that you want to go with the circle breathing technique, silent step, and muted. That is a side effect of the mask that you choose. This one does not have as cool of a visor because it has a nose piece in the center and it has two separate eye slots versus the one large Sonic style. But, it allows you to get the circle breathing buff much more easily. Steady breath is a very good accuracy boost to any sniper, and lying prone in the bushes definitely helps with this. Here we see one of the essay questions and one of the most helpful answers given by a 6-star alien general They actually go up to 12 stars, so 6 stars isn't all that impressive, but it sounds good. So the question is, if you see a commander, do you shoot him or tell base he is there? This would be an enemy commander who you would spot, and we see here, it depends on the situation. If shooting him will give away your position, then don't shoot and try and alert your teammates. This could be done via walkie-talkies embedded inside the mask or external ones. If shooting him will not give away your position and result in your death, then take him out. This is pretty much general advice that aliens apply to their day-to-day lives, shooting down their moral dilemmas and their problems and their big picture issues, but only if it doesn't give away their position and results in their death. Metaphorically, of course. So this concludes our lecture on the origins of the Nerf brand and its use in warfare. And I would like to thank you for attending the 1025 podcast.